Welcome, curious minds, to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're diving into something truly fundamental, something that connects every single thing around us, even the stuff we often can't see or, easily put our finger on.
That's right.
You sent us some fascinating articles and notes about this incredible interconnectedness of life on Earth, and we're going to unpack just how intertwined everything really is.
It's a huge topic, but so important.
Think about it. A bustling city isn't just a collection of buildings, is it?
No, definitely not.
And a healthy forest isn't just a bunch of trees standing side by side.
Uh-huh.
Our world, from the smallest microbe to the largest whale, is an intricate system of interdependence.
Exactly. Everything's woven together.
Every living thing, and even the non-living elements, they're all woven together in this grand, dynamic design.
In a kind of natural tapestry.
Yeah. So here's the big, thought-provoking question for our deep dive today. And I want you to really picture this in your mind. If one tiny, crucial part of this vast natural system, if it suddenly disappeared, what do you think would actually happen to the rest? Does it just shrug it off and keep going? Or could something much, much bigger start to unravel, like pulling a single thread from a perfectly knitted sweater?
That's a fantastic image, and it perfectly sets the stage for understanding this delicate balance of our planet. You see, living organisms, what scientists call biotic factors, they don't just exist on their own, not at all.
Right.
They rely completely on non-living components, the abiotic factors, for their very survival.
Ah, okay. Abiotic, non-living.
Exactly. Think of it like a huge invisible network where everything is constantly influencing everything else. In this deep dive, we're going to pull on those threads, explore how these essential connections play out, from, say, the quiet life of a plant to the dramatic hunt of a predator, and, importantly, how even our own actions fit into this incredible web.
Okay, let's start with the absolute basics then, the bedrock of life. Before we get to the complex systems, what do you think every single living thing absolutely positively needs? From the non-living world, I mean, to survive.
Good starting point.
We're talking the essentials, the must-haves. Picture your favorite animal, or even yourself. What non-living ingredients are totally indispensable?
Excellent question to kick us off. When we really boil it down, the core requirements for life. There are a few critical abiotic resources, things that are absolutely non-negotiable for, well, most organisms.
Okay, like what?
First up, the big one, sunlight.
Right. Obvious, maybe?
Seems obvious,
Yeah.
but it's the ultimate source of energy, especially for that amazing process, photosynthesis, in plants, where plants take light energy, water, carbon dioxide, make their own food, release oxygen.
Yeah, amazing.
It's literally the engine driving almost all life on Earth.
Right.
Without it, the whole energy flow just grinds to a halt.
Wow. Okay, sunlight. What else?
Then there's water. And it's not just for drinking. Water is absolutely crucial for countless chemical reactions happening inside every single cell, every living thing. It helps transport nutrients, regulate temperature. It keeps our bodies, and plant and animal bodies, functioning correctly.
Like the oil in a machine.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to run a complex machine without any fluid. It wouldn't work,
No.
and neither would life without water.
Makes sense. What's next?
And, of course, air.
Breathing, right? Oxygen.
Mostly we think of oxygen for respiration, yeah. Essential for releasing energy from food. But remember, plants are constantly taking in carbon dioxide from the air, too, for photosynthesis.
Ah, right. The other side of the coin.
Exactly. So air is this dynamic mix of gases that literally cycles through living things. It connects them in a really fundamental way.
Okay, sunlight, water, air, anything else?
Finally, we have nutrients.
Like food
For
or...
many organisms, especially plants, these are things like soil minerals, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium.
the stuff in fertilizer.
Precisely. These aren't just food like a sandwich. They're the fundamental building blocks. And catalysts. Living things need them to grow, repair tissues, just to thrive. And what's truly fascinating here is how these nutrients cycle. Like, take nitrogen.
Okay.
So vital for building proteins. It's super abundant in the air, like 78% of the air is nitrogen.
Wow, really?
Yeah, but most plants can't just grab it from the air. They can't use it in that form. They rely on these incredible partnerships with tiny bacteria in the soil.
Bacteria.
Microscopic partners that can fix nitrogen. They convert it into a form that plants can absorb and use.
That's amazing. So without the bacteria...
Without those unseen microscopic partners, the grand design we're talking about wouldn't even get off the ground.
That's a brilliant point about the nitrogen. It really shows how even things we can't see are playing massive roles.
Absolutely.
So Knowing these basic needs, sunlight, water, air, nutrients, here's where it gets really interesting. Let's look at some specific examples to see these connections in action. We'll start with something big and maybe seemingly simple, then follow the energy.
Sounds good.
Okay. Imagine a mighty tree, like a huge oak standing tall and proud. It looks so stoic, so independent, doesn't it? Just doing its tree thing.
Yeah, they can seem that way.
But beneath the surface and even high up in its branches, what connections are silently at play? What makes that tree a vital hub?
That's a powerful image, the tree as a master connector,
Yeah.
because it really is. It's far more active than just a static object. It's an amazing example of how biotic and abiotic factors just intertwine.
How so?
Well, first, it relies entirely on sunlight for that crucial photosynthesis we mentioned, turning light into sugars to grow. It's basically a solar-powered sugar factory.
Oh, I like that.
Then there's water. It pulls water up from the soil through these specialized tubes, xylem they're called, from its roots all the way to its highest leaves, like the tree's internal plumbing system, moving water against gravity.
Incredible.
And of course, those vital soil nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, absorbed directly from the ground. Essential building blocks.
Right.
And from the air, it's diligently taking in carbon dioxide for photosynthesis,
Yeah.
while at the same time releasing the oxygen that we need to breathe. It's a constant exchange,
Wow. Okay, so it's connected to everything.
pretty much. Now, thinking about these deep connections, imagine a whole forest. How might something like widespread deforestation, cutting down many, many trees, how might that completely alter these vital links? What happens to the soil when the trees aren't there to hold it? Or the air when fewer trees are taking in CO2 and releasing oxygen? It's not just about losing the trees themselves, is it?
No, it sounds like it impacts everything around them. That's a great question to ponder. It reminds us trees do so much more than just stand there.
Exactly.
Okay, now let's move up the chain. Literally, think about a fluffy sheep grazing peacefully in a field, munching away. Looks pretty content. What are its fundamental connections, living and non-living?
Right, the sheep. It seems simple, maybe, but it's far more complex than just what it eats. A sheep, being an herbivore, it primarily consumes plants for carbohydrates and protein. That's a direct biotic connection,
Okay, eating plants. Got it.
linking it straight to the primary producers of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
But it also critically needs oxygen from the air for cellular respiration, the process that powers every cell in its body,
Just like us?
just like us.
Yeah.
And just like the tree, water is absolutely essential for the sheep, crucial for digestion, transporting nutrients, maintaining its body's internal balance, keeping its conditions stable inside that process called homeostasis.
Right, homeostasis.
Plus, it relies on a specific habitat. It needs shelter from the elements, enough space to graze, move around safely.
Okay, so plants, oxygen, water, shelter, space.
Yep. So here's another question for you to consider. How might global changes, like shifts in temperature, changes in rainfall from climate change, how might that affect a sheep's ability to survive and thrive in its usual regions? Think about how those changes could impact the plants it eats, or its access to water, or even just making the heat unbearable.
Yeah, you can see the ripples starting already.
Definitely.
Okay, let's get a little wilder now. What about a wolf? Powerful carnivore, stalking its prey. Seems like the ultimate hunter, maybe totally self-reliant.
Ah, the wolf.
But even this apex predator, it must be tied into the same grand system, right?
Absolutely.
How does the wolf, a creature that eats other animals, depend on these same environmental factors? Sunlight, water.
Indeed. The wolf is a classic carnivore. It feeds directly on herbivores, like the sheep we just discussed, or deer, rabbits, whatever's available.
Right.
This places it at a higher position in the food web, often a secondary or even tertiary consumer.
Okay, higher up the food chain.
But here's the kicker. Even though it eats meat, the wolf has a very important indirect dependency. It indirectly depends on plants and sunlight through its prey.
Ah, because the sheep eat the plants.
Exactly. No plants means no sheep. No sheep means no wolf.
Yeah.
It's like that row of dominoes. One falls, they all can fall.
Gotcha.
This is all about energy transfer. Moving from one trophic level that's a feeding level to the next. The wolf is a perfect example of how energy flows through an ecosystem. Starts with the sun, goes to the plants, then the herbivores, then the carnivores like the wolf.
The energy moves up.
He moves up. So connect this for us. What do you think would happen to the wolf population if the sheep and other prey it relies on? What if they suddenly disappeared from its habitat?
Uh-oh.
It's not a pretty thought, is it?
No.
It's a direct illustration of how pulling one thread can affect the whole fabric. The whole system feels it.
Okay, so we've seen these individual connections.
Yeah.
Tree needs sunlight, sheep needs plants, wolf needs sheep. To really grasp how all this energy moves through an ecosystem, you mentioned food chains. We often start there.
That's right. Food chains are a great starting point. They show a simplified, linear flow of energy.
Yeah.
And they always begin with the sun. Always. This energy then flows from producers like the grass, things that make their own food using sunlight, to various consumers. Herbivores like sheep are primary consumers. Carnivores like wolves eating sheep are secondary consumers. And eventually, everything ends up with the decomposers.
Decomposers,
Like fungi and bacteria. They break down dead plants, dead animals, waste products, and they recycle those essential nutrients back into the soil, making them available for producers again. It's a cycle.
so they close the loop.
Exactly. So a simple example might be sungrass, producer, sheep, primary consumer, wolf,
maybe.
secondary consumer, decomposers.
Okay, neat line.
It's a neat, easy to follow path of energy.
But here's where it gets truly fascinating, right? You said it's more complicated.
Way more complicated.
Real ecosystems aren't just simple, straight food chains. They're more like a giant, buzzing, incredibly tangled web.
Precisely. Like those old school spider webs covered in morning dew, right? Every strand glistening with connection.
Yeah.
Food chains, while helpful for understanding the basics, are just too simple for the real world. Ecosystems operate as incredibly complex food webs.
Webs, not chains.
Exactly. In a web, organisms often eat or are eaten by multiple different species. Think about a fox.
Okay.
A fox might eat berries
A producer,
and mice
primary consumer, eats seeds maybe.
and even insects.
Okay, another consumer.
Right, so the fox is part of several different chains, all woven together within the same web. It's not just one path, but many crisscrossing paths for energy.
Much more tangled.
Much more. So here's a challenge for you listening. Can you think of any organisms that might fit into more than one food chain? Think about birds. What if a bird eats both seeds and worms? How does that instantly add more threads to our imaginary web?
Yeah, or bears eating fish and berries. Or us, we eat lots of different things.
Exactly. Humans are a great example of an omnivore playing multiple roles in the food web.
So imagine this giant interconnected web, like a massive shimmering tapestry across the planet. Every living thing, every non-living factor, like water or sunlight. It's all a node, a point where threads meet.
Nice analogy.
And if you pull out just one tiny connection,
Yeah.
the whole thing can start to unravel in ways you might not expect.
We saw that with the wolf and the sheep example.
Yeah.
That's it, exactly. These deep connections mean removing even one factor, a plant, an animal, even an abiotic factor like clean water access can cause a ripple effect. It cascades through the system, potentially causing parts of the web to collapse, leading to unforeseen consequences.
You called it a trophic cascade.
Yes, a trophic cascade. Like if you remove a top predator, say sea otters,
Okay.
their prey, sea urchins, might explode in population. Then those urchins graze down all the kelp forests, which are vital habitats for many other species. See the cascade?
Wow, removing the otter changes the whole underwater forest.
Exactly. But what's really fascinating here is that biodiversity having lots of different types of life and connections, that actually increases the stability of an ecosystem. It makes it more resilient.
How does that work? More diversity equals more stability.
Think of it like a safety net with many, many ropes. If one rope breaks, the net still holds because there are lots of others. In a diverse ecosystem, if one food source disappears, predators might have other things to eat. If one pollinator struggles, other insects or animals might step in.
Redundancy, backups.
Exactly. There are more alternative pathways for energy and nutrients to flow. A more diverse web is harder to unravel completely. It can absorb shocks better.
Okay, that makes sense. So diversity is key for resilience.
Absolutely critical.
So what does this all mean for us, humans? We're obviously a massive part of this planet system. Our actions definitely have an impact, sometimes a really, really big one.
Huge impact.
Are we just another thread in the web, or are we maybe the ones pulling at all the threads, messing up the tapestry?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Humans have an enormous ecological footprint. We definitely disrupt these vital connections in several key ways.
Like what?
Well, pollution is a major one. Contaminating air, water, resources all living things need. And it's not just obvious stuff like oil spills. Think about plastic pollution in the oceans.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It doesn't just physically harm animals, it breaks down into microplastics that get into the food web. They can disrupt chemical balances in organisms, even interfere with nutrient cycling in the water itself, messing with abiotic factors too.
Wow. Microplastics affecting nutrient cycles.
It's a growing area of research, yeah. Then there's deforestation. We talked about trees. Cutting down forests directly impacts their connections to soil, water, air. But it also devastates countless species relying on those forests for habitat and food. It leads to habitat fragmentation, chopping up large habitats into small, isolated patches. Makes it hard for populations to survive long term.
Right, isolating them.
And practices like overhunting or overfishing can just decimate populations within food webs. Intensive agriculture, too. It changes land use drastically, impacts natural cycles. Think about pesticides.
Yeah.
Excessive pesticide use can wipe out beneficial insects, pollinators, and even disrupt the delicate balance of those crucial soil microbes. Remember the nitrogen fixers?
Ah, right. Killing the helpers.
Exactly. It all connects back.
So it really brings up that question you posed.
Yeah. Considering all these impacts, all these connections, are humans simply another part of these food webs, living within them like wolves and sheep? Or are we somehow operating outside of them, impacting them from the sidelines, as if we're not fundamentally connected ourselves? It's complex, isn't it? Maybe the answer is a bit of both. We are part of it, but our scale of impact is unprecedented.
It really makes you think. Every action having a reaction in this amazing interconnected world. Every decision, every change sends ripples far beyond what we might initially see.
It does.
You mentioned trying to map this out visually.
Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. I really encourage you, the listener, to try visualizing or even drawing a food web. Don't just do a simple chain, make it a real web.
Right.
Start with the sun. Add multiple different plants.
Okay.
Then add different herbivores that eat those plants. Then several carnivores or omnivores that eat the herbivores or plants. And definitely don't forget the decomposers. Show how they link back to everything.
Right. Drawing the connections.
Exactly. Label them to producers, primary consumers, secondary consumers, decomposers. See how tangled it gets.
Cool idea.
And here's an extension challenge for you, a big one.
Ooh.
As you visualize or draw it, try to think about where energy is lost at each step. Because it's not a perfect 100% transfer.
Okay,
Right?
you mentioned that earlier.
When a sheep eats grass, not all the energy in the grass becomes sheep. A lot is used just by the grass, living, growing. And then the sheep uses energy moving, digesting, breathing, staying warm. Energy is used up or lost as heat at each step.
So less energy is available higher up.
Much less. It's often called the 10% rule, roughly. Only about 10% of the energy from one trophic level makes it to the next.
Only 10%.
Roughly.
Okay.
So less and less energy is available as you go up the web. That's why there are generally fewer top predators than herbivores. So the challenge is, where do you think that lost energy goes? It doesn't just disappear.
Something to think about. Heat. Movement. Living.
Exactly.
Wow. What a deep dive this has been into the incredible, often invisible connections that, literally hold our world together.
It's mind-boggling when you start tracing the threads.
From sunlight powering a tiny plant or that mighty tree, to a wolf depending on a sheep that depends on grass.
Yeah.
It's all one grand, continuous, unbelievably complex system.
And we're right there in the middle of it.
Yeah.
That's the beauty and maybe the challenge of it all. So take a moment right now, reflect on what you've heard. Think about maybe one new connection you discovered between living and non-living things, something you hadn't considered before. And perhaps one new question you now have about how ecosystems function. Like, how could removing just one abiotic factor, say, all the available fresh water from a region affect the entire system we've discussed, from microbes to predators?
Yeah, what would that look like?
Or consider your own ecological footprint. What are the connections you have to this vast web every single day? What threads are you pulling on?
Lots to think about. Keep exploring, everyone. Keep connecting those dots.
Please do.
Because the more we understand these intricate relationships, the better we can appreciate and maybe, hopefully, protect the amazing interdependent world around us. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Thanks for listening.